Okay, well, it looks like we have a good amount of callers. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We're here to talk to you about our Manatee Cares Housing Assistance Program. These have been some very difficult time for all of us, and we want to say thank you for joining us to hear a little bit more about how we can help you pay your mortgage and your rent during these trying times. My name is Jerry Lopez, and I am here with Denise Thomas and Jennifer Yost. We are with the Redevelopment and Economic Opportunity Department with Manatee County Government. And also joining us on the call is Karen Stewart, our Deputy County Administrator. So just want to say thank you all very much for joining us. And we are here to walk you through every step of the process so that you can see what you need to do to be able to apply for our Manatee Cares Housing Assistance Program. Now, we know that you all have a lot of questions, and hopefully through our presentation, we'll be able to answer all of those. But those that are on the Zoom call, you can see our presentation. Please hit the or click the raise hand button if you're attending through Zoom, and you can dial *9 if you called in on the phone. And each slide on the bottom right-hand side, there's a number. So if it's helpful, please refer to the slide number so that we're able to answer your questions. So we're going to go through the presentation first. And at the very end, we'll be able to take all of your questions. So please don't worry, we have plenty of time to be able to answer each and every one of your questions. This presentation will be recorded so that you can come back to it and listen to portions of it if you need to hear it again. And also the slides will be on the website, which is www.mymanatee.org/cares. So a little bit more about the funding that we have available. So as many of you know, the federal government, Congress has allocated the Coronavirus Relief Fund, also known as the CARES Act. So these are funds that have been allocated to help the whole country recover from the coronavirus. So Manatee County specifically has gotten money through the state of Florida. Next slide, please. So here, the county has gotten funds in this first year. We have about $17.5 million. And since we really want to get this money out in the community, we really want to spend this first phase of the money by September 30th. And then from there, then we'll be able to get some additional money. This program, though, is part of larger programs that Manatee County is doing to help both businesses and residents, as well as our nonprofits with recovery throughout this pandemic. Next slide, please. So here, as part of the full program, Manatee County has allocated what I'm just going to call 4 different buckets. These are different programs in these different categories to be able to help the community. We have our public health and safety area, our economic recovery, which this program is, the area that it's under. We have our community health and well-being, and then government and community facilities. Now, these funds are meant to be able to purchase protective equipment to help our first responders in the hospital, help our nonprofits do some direct benefits to our residents. And in this particular program that we're going to be talking about today, which is economic recovery, next slide, please, is really designated to help restore the economy, to maintain our workforce, and assist our individual households recover from the effects of COVID-19. So in this particular one, we are going to be focusing on our housing assistance program, which is a way to help those that need assistance to pay for rent and mortgage, how to be able to do that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Denise Thomas, our Housing and Community Development Manager, to walk you through some of the eligibility requirements. Denise?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and we are going to venture into what this program is all about. Next slide, please. So Manatee Cares Housing Assistance Program Round 2, and you'll hear us refer to it as Manatee Cares HAP Round 2, is going to be utilized to provide you, a renter or homeowner residing in Manatee County and our municipalities as well, with assistance in paying your delinquent rent or mortgage payments due to the impacts of COVID-19. For those impacts that occurred after March 1st. We will take in up to 500 applications, and we will be able to provide up to $6,000 of maximum assistance. Please, next slide. So who is eligible? You as the applicant must meet certain criteria to apply. And the requirements are that you must be a U.S. citizen or a legal resident. You must be a resident of Manatee County, including its municipalities. You must have a gross current household income that is below the 150% area median income. And that information will be shared with you later in this presentation, but it is based on your household size. You also must have a loss of household income as a result of COVID-19 on or after March 1st. And be delinquent on rent or mortgage payments due to COVID-19 on or after March 1st. We can pay back to March 1st forward. Next slide, please. So how can these funds be used? As stated before, and we keep emphasizing that it has to be expenses that are incurred no earlier than March 1st. You must be delinquent on your rent, and you need to be delinquent on your mortgage, principal, interest, and insurance. We are not allowed to use the funds to pay for property tax, which is included in your mortgage payment. And we cannot use it to pay for your mortgage if you are in a forbearance and have been approved. So if you have already applied for forbearance, please check and see if you have been approved. Funds will be paid directly to the landlord or the lender. Next slide, please. So what documents do you need in order to apply? Well, we will need a letter of statement from your landlord on company letterhead or most recent mortgage statement stating amount owed and months due. We will also need documentation showing a loss of income as a result of COVID-19 on or after March 1st. And we'll go into what type of documentation you can provide. We will also need a current lease and contact information for your landlord or contact information for the mortgage company or lender. And please note that your landlord and lender must agree to participate. So you may want to make them aware that you are applying for the program so that they be readily able to provide us with what we need. We will also need proof of identification, and this is for the applicant only, and proof of U.S. citizenship or legal residence for the applicant only. Next slide, please. So as the applicant, what is your responsibility? Well, your responsibility is to register on the Neighborly portal, and we also have the link available for you to register on our website, and we can also share that with you as we go through the presentation. You will need to please complete all sections of the application form. We have modified the application substantially, so it's not as burdensome. It is easy to fill out, but you must complete all sections because it's going to help us to assist you faster. We will need for you to provide us with your landlord or lender contact information and upload all documents from the prior slide that we just talked about. And the images need to be clear and legible. So if you're taking a picture to upload, please make sure it is legible. And the greatest, most strongest responsibility is to click the submit button in the application upon completion. That is the only way your application will be received by us. So please remember to click submit. Next slide, please. And after you have been approved for the assistance, we will need your assistance in obtaining an invoice and wiring documentation from your landlord and lender so we can pay them. And we will also need you to sign all required documents. You will need to sign an affidavit of duplication of benefits because we cannot assist you if you're already receiving assistance from another source. And we will also need you to sign an affidavit of income and impact from COVID-19, stating that this is your income that make you eligible and that you have been impacted by COVID-19. Next slide, please. Well, now we're going to take a walk through Neighborly, and Jennifer Yost is going to come on board to show you the easy path to take in being able to apply for these funds. And we hope that each and every one of you will participate when the funds are open on August 6th. Jennifer?
Jennifer, I don't think that your audio is coming through. Is it for anyone else?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. I had to unmute. So from the main page of the mymanatee.org page, you'll find a link to the Manatee Cares Grants and Funding webpage. From there, you'll find the Housing Assistance Program, which will take you to everything about this program, the frequently asked questions, as well as the Neighborly portal. And this is how you get into the application. Once you get into the Neighborly portal, you will need to register an account. You'll be selecting your preferred language of English, French, or Spanish, putting your name and select a password. You will receive an email from Neighborly to complete the registration. Please check your spam folder because it does appear in there often. Wait about 5 to 10 minutes. If you do not receive an email from Neighborly, please do not register again. They do recommend that you contact their technical support using the email address that's listed on this screen. And then they will get you in rather than having multiple registrations. Next slide. Once you have registered and the application becomes open on August 6th, you will go back into the system. At this time, you'll actually sign into the program. Next slide. Once you are signed in, you will automatically be taken to the Manatee County Participant Portal. This is where you will select the application that you're interested in. All of our applications will appear on this page, so make sure that you actually select the Manatee Cares HAP Round 2 application. You click here to start a new application. Next slide. Once you're into the application, you do have the opportunity to update your profile using the little icon in the upper right-hand corner that's circled. It's a little person. From there, you can adjust your preferred language if you accidentally selected something that you didn't. You can put in an alternate email and also change the background contrast. Make sure to hit and click the update button and it will take your information. Next slide. Once you come to the Manatee Cares Housing Assistance Program application, you will see that there are 8 screens that you must complete. On the left navigation bar, you'll see that each of the sections of the application that must be completed. It has a little check box that's there. You will not be able to continue to the next screen if the required information in each of those sections is not complete. Please make sure that you read and complete each of those screens. At the bottom of each screen, you'll have 2 buttons to select. One is Save, which will save the information and maintain you on that page. And then the second button is Complete and Continue. That will save your information and take you to the next section automatically. Once you have clicked the Complete and Continue button, it will put a check mark in that box for that screen. This is the program overview page. This lists out all the documents that you will need to be able to upload, and you will need to hit the complete and save. There's nothing to do on this page, but please read the information and make sure that you have all of this information available, as you will not be able to complete the application without uploading it. Next slide. This is the eligibility screen, and as you can see in the navigation bar, there are green check marks that are in those boxes. That is what you're looking to have when you finish the application. On the eligibility screen, one of the first questions that you'll need to answer is about your household income and size. This is an important question. You will have to calculate your gross household income and make sure that it is below the maximum amount allowed for that household size. If you are approved for the program, you will be required to sign a self-certification form swearing that this information is true and accurate. The rest of the eligibility questions are there, where you answer if you are delinquent on your rent and mortgage, if the lease or mortgage statement is in your name, if you're living in Manatee County, and the rest of the eligibility criteria. Once you have answered all of those questions, you will click the button, complete, and continue. Next slide. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you calculate your gross household income. Again, the income must be below 150% area median income for your household size. You will include the gross income of every member that resides in your home that is over the age of 18. So that means spouses, roommates, elderly parents, adult children, etc. And you will use your current gross income, which is your income before taxes or other deductions. Next slide. So this list is not all inclusive, but please include any employment income that you're currently receiving, any Social Security that someone in the household might be receiving, child support, or unemployment. One thing to keep in mind with the unemployment, if you are receiving the extra federal unemployment amount of $600, please do not include that because that is time limited. You do not include any stimulus payments that you may have received, one-time assistance, food stamps, and it's about your income that you have at the time of the application submittal. Please do not include information about your income pre-COVID. It does need to be calculated on an annual basis, so take your most recent gross income that you have received and multiply it by these multipliers depending on how frequently you receive the income, whether it's weekly, every 2 weeks, twice a month, or monthly. Next slide. Now you can come back to the application if you're unable to complete it in one sitting. Please do not start a second application or re-register. You would go back in and sign in, and it will take you back to your profile, which allows you to view or continue an existing application. You'll click on the edit button to allow you to edit the application and complete it. The view button will not allow you to edit. It will only allow you to see it. So make sure that you click the edit button. Next slide. So on this page, we are talking, it's just showing one of the other parts of the program, is if you have saved or completed a section and you're like, I made a mistake, I need to make an edit, I now know who the contact information is for my mortgage company and who Manatee County needs to talk to, you can click the reopen button, which is at the bottom of the screen, which allows you to go back and edit that specific screen, which you had already completed. Next slide. You are required to upload 5 documents: the evidence of your delinquency, the loss of income, your current lease or mortgage company contact information, your identification, and your proof of residency. Make sure that the image is clear and legible. So if you are taking a picture with your phone, make sure to fill the screen with the document and that you are in good lighting so that it is visible for us to review. If the information is clear and eligible and visible, we're able to process the applications much more quickly. We'll talk about the documents in the next slide. So evidence of delinquency would be a late notice or letter from your landlord stating the amount due and the months that are rent or owed. You may also have a letter from your mortgage company, but usually it's a mortgage statement that will show the amount owed and that is past due. Next slide. For documents showing loss of income, there's a variety of reasons why you might have lost income as a result of COVID-19. You may have actually lost your job, been laid off, been furloughed. So an email or letter from your employer stating that, provides that. Proof of reduction of hours, it could be timesheets, it could be a copy of a pre-COVID pay stub and your current pay stub showing the difference in your hours and income. It could be the application for unemployment that says that it was for COVID-19. It could be documentation that the business is closed completely. So it could be a screenshot of the website showing that they're closed. It could be a newspaper article that shows that they were closed. Documentation that you have lost childcare and therefore were needed to leave your job and you're unable to work remotely. And so that could be a letter from the childcare provider. It could be a bank statement that was pre-COVID showing you paying a childcare provider and a current bank statement showing that you're not. It also could be that you were told that you needed to self-quarantine by a healthcare provider. And so a letter from a healthcare provider would provide that documentation. These are just examples. We do ask in the application for some very specific examples that we are aware of, but also tell us your story if what we have identified is not meeting your COVID-19 impact. Next slide. So we do need a copy of your current lease, sorry. Your current lease if you're a renter. If you are a homeowner, a mortgage statement or a tax document from your lender, or a payment coupon that shows us the contact information from your lender would be uploaded here. So it is possible that you would upload your mortgage statement in 2 sections, one for the evidence of delinquency and one here for the contact information for your mortgage company. Next slide. We do need proof of identification of the applicant and only the applicant. Please do not upload any additional identification for the rest of the household members. So this could be a voter identification card, Veterans Administration identification, or most common is a photo driver's license or state ID. Next slide. Then we also need proof of citizenship of the applicant or legal residency. So this could be a copy of a U.S. Social Security card, U.S. birth certificate, a certificate of naturalization, a green card, proof of citizenship or legal residency. Next slide. Once you have completed all of the different sections, as you can see in the left-hand navigation bar, each of those sections is marked with a green box. So you want to make sure that each section has been read and is marked as completed. On this page, the submit page, you're going to verify that all the sections are completed. You need to read and check each of those individual statements that you understand them and that they're accurate. You will then sign. And by signing, you are actually typing in your name into the authorized signature box. And then most importantly, as Denise said earlier, is make sure to hit the complete and submit button. If the submit button is not clicked, the application is actually not processed through the system and you will be the application will not be reviewed. Next slide. And I'll turn it back to Denise.
Yes, for all those who are on the line, please share this information with those you know who may be interested in participating as well. But the application period will open on August 6th at 8 a.m. and will close on August 20th at 5 p.m. or upon receipt of 500 applications. So you do have some time to take your time and complete it, the application in its entirety, and check it and make sure it is complete. This is where you can access the online application at www.mymanatee.org/manateecares, but that will be on August 6th when it will be accessible and it becomes live. We also have put on the website for your information frequently asked questions, FAQs, so that if you have any questions that have not been answered today, this should give you some detail on those questions that you may have. You can also call our telephone HAP line at area code 941-745-6270 or email manateecares@mymanatee.org with questions, and we will do our best to respond to you within 24 hours. We will process the applications as they come in on a first come, first eligible basis. And if additional funds are available, there may be a third round we're anticipating and hoping that will happen very soon. So please be sure to go to the website, read the information, know what it says, and prepare yourself for August 6th. And we look forward to seeing your application submitted. Next slide, please. Again, this is Manatee Cares HAP Round 2. And as said before, you can reach it at www.mymanatee.org/Manatee Cares or call area code 941-745-6270 if you have any questions, or even email us at manateecares@mymanatee.org if you do have additional questions. We want to let you know that we're here to help you, to serve you, and to pay those delinquencies so that you can have a peace of mind. So please feel free to participate, share with others. This is for Manatee County. It is inclusive of City of Bradenton, all the municipalities, as well as Manatee County. Next slide, please. We will now open it up for Zoom questions, and I turn it over to Jerry.
Thank you so much, Denise and Jennifer, for walking us through that. So at this point, Seth, our question facilitator, will help us. So again, if you have a question on Zoom, please hit that little hand button to be able to ask questions. And it looks like there are some there. And if you are on the phone, dial *9. Seth will call on you and either give you which phone number you're in, or at least the last couple numbers to call on you, or if you're on Zoom, he will call on you. So Seth, I will turn it over to you for our questions.
Perfect. Good morning. Thank you. Looks like we have quite a few people with questions. We'll start with the Zoom attendees. So we'll start at the top of the list. I'll allow you to talk. You just need to confirm and unmute yourself and pose your question, please. So our first one is username of Lions. You're now unmuted. Please go ahead with your question.
I don't think he's, yeah, there he is. He's unmuted.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, do you have a question?
I was just curious. Me and my husband, we are gig workers after March 31st, meaning that we do like odd and end jobs to help pay our rent and stuff like that. I mean, would we still qualify? Because we're really far behind on our rent, and we don't have any paperwork stating that. Other than that, I mean, we have every other qualification. Like my landlord would be more than happy to participate. I'm not really sure if I would qualify.
Thank you very much for your question. I think that's a really good one because we do have a lot of residents that do have gigs on the side, as you call it. So ideas, Jennifer and Denise, for documentation for this one. And if we don't know the answer right now, please, if you can send us an email, we'll be happy to research it and get it back over to you and put it in our frequently asked questions. But if you have ideas right now of documentation.
Yeah, so one of the, in the asking about what is your COVID-19 impact, there is a section where you can explain what it is. And the documentation could be a pre-COVID bank statement that shows the additional income and the current bank statement that does not show that additional income. So it shows that there was a reduction.
Okay, our next question will go to Liz M89 username. I'm going to allow you to talk. Please unmute yourself and present your question. Hello, good morning. Next up, we'll go to Annie at the office as a username. I'll allow you to talk. Please unmute yourself, present your question. Annie, good morning.
Good morning. My question is, okay, I was a support worker for a private school, and I would normally during the summer find, for my income during the summer, I would find income in other places. This summer, there were no places to find any extra income, okay? So I am going to be going back. Our school is starting up, and I will be going back to work as I was before. But during the summer, I had no income. And of course, you know, the income is unsure as the school year starts, you know, how things will work and how much we're needed, et cetera, et cetera. So am I eligible, and how do I go about that?
As with the gig on the side question, there is a box where you explain that. And this is where you would show what your income was for last year, and that you had this summer income, and that this year you do not have access to that summer income. So bank statements from last year would work, or even a tax return would show that you had that income, and that this year with those bank statements showing that you do not have that income.
Okay, our next person up is a username of 3V. I'm going to allow you to talk. If you please unmute yourself, present your question. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, I got a question. So it's me and my mom that lives in the house. I help her pay. She's elderly, and I had lost my, like, I used to work at Ramada, and I don't work there no more. I get unemployment. Is she allowed to use my income because we haven't paid the amount of rent because we owe rent?
Answer that. Yes, we would allow you. She would be the applicant, but it's based off a household and loss of income within the household. So because you lost income, it would make her eligible.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you. Next up, we have Laura Spencer. Laura Spencer, I'll allow you to talk. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Okay. My question is, I'm on disability, and
Laura, you still there?
She's muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We can now.
Okay, sorry. I'm on disability, and you know, they allow you to make, well, they allowed me to make like $1,200 a month, and the only thing I was able to do because of my disability was drive Uber and Lyft. And because of my health issues, I have breathing issues and I have heart issues. And because of that, I'm not going back no time soon because I don't want to put my health in jeopardy. Do I qualify? Because they denied my unemployment for whatever reason. I haven't got my letter yet, but they denied me as unemployment. So
again, because you have the loss of income because of the COVID, you are not able to continue with that at this time. If your doctor was telling you to self-quarantine because of COVID-19, that would be your documentation, or being able to show that the income pre-COVID was there from your Uber and Lyft, and now it's not.
oh,
So
okay.
2 bank statements would work.
Okay.
And Laura, do you have any documentation showing that you did apply for unemployment?
I'm waiting on the letter now because they denied me.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of waiting on the letter. I'm not sure why it's taking long, but I guess it's just a matter of time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Next up, we have Marjorie. Marjorie, I'll allow you to talk. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you. My question is, I have been unemployed since March, and I'm wondering why you are not including those in forbearance, because I called my mortgage company and said, I don't have any income, and they put me in, I was very grateful. They put me into forbearance. Why is this not included? Why are we not included, those of us in forbearance?
I can say on past ones we have worked with, when we go to the lender to verify delinquencies, because you're in forbearance, they show that you're not delinquent. Now the question is are you in a forbearance? Did they take all your delinquent payments and put it on the back end of your mortgage and re-amortize you? Or did they just do a forbearance for a period of time and it's going to become due and payable soon?
They did a forbearance for a period of time. I tried to settle that issue. I wanted to put it on the end of my mortgage, and they said, we do not talk about that until you start paying your mortgage. So at this stage, it is, it is not in anything.
Well, Marjorie, what I would tell you to do is apply and let us work with you, because we have had a few challenges on the mortgage side. And we're going to have to kind of work with your lender to identify the delinquencies when the forbearance is up and see what we can do.
Thank you very much. I have the statement that I just got, a week ago, and it shows how much I am delinquent. And
okay, good.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Submit that with it, and we may have to work one-on-one with you through this process.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Quite welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Marjorie. We still have Liz on the line. Liz, did you have a question? All right, and again, any Zoom users can press the raised hand button at the bottom of the application. And any callers can press *9 on their phone to virtually raise their hand. Ms. Lopez, at this time, I do not see any further questions.
Okay, well, thank you. These were some really great questions. I think the summary of it is definitely please apply in the box that explains what your specific circumstances. Please explain what that is to give us a better idea of what has been your COVID impact, and be thinking through. A lot of the answers were looking at your two different bank statements from kind of before and after to show that difference. One of the rules for these funds, since they are coming from the federal government, is that you have to show that loss, that impact. So if we have anything of those two statements showing kind of before and after, and you explain to us as part of the application process what kind of what your story is, we'll definitely look through it, take a look, and please feel free to give us a call once we're going through the applications. We'll have your contact information, so we'll be giving you a call. Please email us, and we are happy to be able to work with you to be able to provide this assistance. So thank you all again so much for joining us. Again, this presentation will be on our website, as well as all of the slides going through each of the different steps about how to apply. And again, our application process opens on August 6th. You can go in to register early so you have your sign-in information, but August 6th at 8 a.m., And again, as was said, please tell your friends about it. Please let everyone know that we do have this funding available. We are really wanting to get this out into the community to be able to have everyone be able to stay healthy and stay in their homes. And with that, just want to say thank you again for joining us on behalf of our county administrator, our deputy county administrator, Jennifer and Denise. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us. Have a good rest of the day.